What's up, everyone? My name's Adam McDormand, and this is Medium Quality. Alright, no script for today's video. We are shooting from the hip. I'm going to do a vinyl record haul for all of the stuff that I got in the month of December. It's going to be quick and dirty, and if you don't like it, then just leave an angry comment in the comments section below for me to ignore. And while you're at it, make sure that you like this video and subscribe so that you can see more vinyl record updates in the future. As always, I will be sure to post links to the Discogs.com entries for each of these records in the description of this video below. Alright, I got a bunch of stuff, so let's just jump right into it after I drink a little more coffee. We're going to start with a couple of things that have been up on the wall behind me here for a couple of weeks. The first thing is this 7-inch single from Indiana hardcore band, some old friends of mine, In the Face of War. They recently reissued Summer Demo 2004. Somehow these guys managed to cram 5 songs into one 7-inch single. It's a pretty simple package, as you might expect from a 7-inch single. Nicely done, though. We've got a very DIY insert here with some handwritten lyrics that have been Xeroxed, very much fitting with kind of their aesthetic and kind of the way they did things. But this is a really cool purple with blue marble press here. These guys are great. They're disbanded now, but they had a pretty solid 10-year run. If you like old school hardcore, kind of punk influence, very punk influenced, look these guys up on the internet. Their Bandcamp still has all their music, so you can go and buy it. I'll try to remember to put a link down below. And the other record that's been sitting behind me for a while, you probably have seen it in a couple of the recent videos, the Lagrange Point soundtrack. Now this is a video game soundtrack released from Ship to Shore Records. This, kind of like a handful of the other video game soundtracks that I have, is from a game that I never played. But the music on this soundtrack warrants being listened to regardless of the fact that I never had this game. I think Lagrange Point was for the original Nintendo Entertainment System, and I never had one of those. The cool thing about this soundtrack on this original hardware, I believe the cartridge had an extra sound chip that allowed them to do some really interesting things that kind of pushed the limitations of 8-bit music. Ship to Shore Records always does a really good job with their pressings. They always sound great, they always look great. There's a lot of love and care put into their pressings. This is kind of a similar color to that In the Face of War 7-inch, a little more of a blue tinted marble, really gorgeous pressing. You guys know I'm a sucker for colored records. I'm gonna go ahead and put these back on the wall over there. Next up, I have Astral Weeks by Van Morrison. This was a gift from one of my friends who saw that this was not on my Discogs collection and saw fit to make sure that I had this to listen to. I don't know how I've never heard this before. Van Morrison has this really distinctive voice, and I'm not super familiar with his discography, so I've been really excited to kind of give this a listen and learn more about an artist who's really not been on my radar. This is a reissue on a really nice heavyweight black vinyl. This pressing sounds absolutely fantastic. Some of these I have yet to even open, so I'm cutting them open live. We're doing it live. What I have here is Care by David Bazan. This is his most recent full-length album. I believe this came out in 2017. This is an album that I've listened to quite a bit, but I didn't have it on vinyl, so I had it on my Amazon wish list, and was so lucky to receive this album. Really nice, kind of murky gatefold image of what I assume to be David Bazan in the studio. Many of these songs are from the Dave Bazan monthly singles collection and have been reimagined in really interesting ways to add new life to songs that, if you're a hardcore Dave Bazan fan, you've already heard before. This is a really nice pressing here. I assume it's nice. I guess I haven't even listened to the physical version yet, but it's pressed black vinyl. Very much looking forward to giving this a listen on the turntable. We'll open another one live. This is Sketches from Brunswick East by King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. Again, another album that I've listened to quite a bit, but have, as of yet, not owned in physical form. Usually, I pre-order King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard records from usually ATO Records, who's their distributor in the United States, because they always have these really gorgeous limited color pressings, and I try to snatch those up pretty quickly. This album, however, did not have the same treatment. It was put out on black vinyl, but there was a super limited white vinyl pressing from Flightless, which is the record label that's run by one of the members of the band out of Australia. This is one of the 5 albums that King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard put out in 2017. It's kind of different than most King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard albums. It's very toned down. It's almost like a smooth jazz album. It definitely has its bizarre moments, as every one of their albums does, but really a cool entry in a very diverse discography from this band. So this is a cool one. I'm very glad to have it. All right, and now it's time for everybody's favorite segment on this show, Vinyl Records from My Father-in-Law. This is Boston's self-titled album from 1976. When I'm in a mood for classic rock, Boston would probably be my go-to listen, and this is really the one album that you need by them. Like, these are huge, massive rock and roll tracks. So in spite of the fact that this is a fairly old record, it's actually in pretty decent shape. This will play through really nicely. It's a very clean copy. I'm always amazed at his ability to find really clean copies of old rock albums for not much money. But yeah, Boston, like, this is classic rock at its finest. Next up, A Deeper Understanding by The War on Drugs. Now, this is an album that made my top 10 albums of 2017 list, and I didn't have a physical copy of it, so I was real pumped when I unwrapped this as a Christmas gift. This is a fantastic double LP. Oh, wow. Nice. Okay, so this is I believe this is the Indie Record Store exclusive press. It's on kind of a translucent Coke bottle, almost a turquoise teal color, really gorgeous pressing. I thought I was going to end up with the standard black pressing, but hey, no. Wow. Yeah, like I said, this is a great album. If you haven't seen my top 10 albums of 2017 video, you should definitely check that out. I will make sure to put a link to that video in the card that should pop up somewhere on the top of the screen here. And of course, you have to listen to this album. It's super chilled out, it's super vibey, great record. Wow, and I got the colored press too, that's awesome. I guess I have a lot more records than I initially thought. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and split this episode into 2, so you get twice as much YouTube goodness, but you're going to have to come back next week to see the rest of what I got in December of 2012. So, in the meantime, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more, make sure you subscribe so you can see when the next episode drops. And until next time, what a time to be alive.